Welcome to the channel, YouTube world. Another update on Generation Zero. If you do not want to hear me flap my gums for 5 minutes, check out the description box for a link directly to the developer's website where they showcase the update, and you don't have to go through all this pain. So, if you're crazy enough and you want to tag along and hear me narrate the patch notes, let's get right into it. The June update is now live. Hello and welcome to our June update. We'll first cover some of the features and improvements that we wanted to go into greater depth on. And after that are the rest of the patch notes. As always, please let us know your feedback. Enjoy. Bikes. Oh my. Bikes are here. The team is excited to bring you our second new feature to the game, bikes. An iconic part of 80s culture and a great source of transportation. Bikes will definitely change how you make your way across Ostertum. Available at every safe house, players can now interact with the bike station to spawn their own cycle bike. This model comes in 3 different colors, with sky blue available immediately and the emerald green and ruby red variations unlockable by destroying certain machine types. You'll notice that this particular bike performs better on the road than off of it, so keep that in mind when planning your routes. And beware of machines, they can still and will attack you on sight. Lastly, as this is our first step with bikes in Generation Zero, our plan is to continue to iterate and improve them over time based on your feedback. Main mission improvements. As discussed in previous communications, in this update we set out to take a long look at missions based on feedback and data that showed that they were not working as expected. After digging into things, we decided to make some alterations under the hood to the main mission system to improve the experience for players now and in the future. So what does that mean for you? Well, primarily, we've sorted issues where main missions, previously called warboard missions, payback, safety, and answers, could get stuck in an uncompletable state. Therefore, if you are currently stuck or were at risk of becoming so, this fix will solve that. We'll put that to the test after. This means that players will now be able to finish the core game story without fear. Of note, this fix does come with some quirks. One is that this update has the side effect of us resetting progress on your current missions back to the first step of that mission. Again, this only affects players that are part way through a mission. So if you are at the first step, you'll see no change. Doing so was a necessary step to improve the system for now and the future. We apologize for any inconvenience it might cause in the short term. Secondly, if you are someone who's currently stuck on a warboard mission from the region you logged out in, the mission will disappear from your log, but it's not really gone. You'll just need to fast travel out of the region and then back for it to reappear. This is a late discovered bug that we'll look into fixing for a future update. Another benefit of looking into this missions system is that we've improved some of the HUD map elements to make things clearer and easier to understand for players. This means that your current mission objective will now appear in the upper left of the HUD, which can be turned off in settings. Additionally, there are more icons on the in-game compass at the top of the screen to guide you to where tracked missions items are. Our aim is that through all of these combined improvements, players will have an easier time getting through the game. Please let us know if we hit the mark or not. Game balance tweaks. Based on player feedback from the last patch, we identified a few areas that needed to be touched up, as the changes we made didn't quite land the way we intended. Please keep the feedback coming in on these items as we continue to improve the overall game experience. Explosive damage. We heard from you that the tweaks made to how explosive damage versus machines was calculated made the difficulty swing too much the other direction. After looking into it, we've increased the explosive damage for all weapons, gadgets, and environmental objects. Loot containers. Yes! No more empty spawning loot containers. You reported some bugs, but also mentioned that in general this just didn't feel good. Well, of course not. So, we have now tweaked them to prevent them from being empty when they've spawned. Sorry, they did a typo there and it tongue twisted me. This means that any loot container that you have not looted within 4 hours of gameplay should contain at least one item when you open it. Keep in mind that loot is saved locally, which means that loot containers looted in single player will remain looted if you join a multiplayer game within the cooldown period. Machine loot, just like with machine loot containers, oh my god, I'm getting aroused. Just like with loot containers, we wanted to make looting machines feel better. To that end, we've made some more tweaks, which we think are an improvement. Oh, they are. The biggest change is how ammo... Oh, I could cry. The biggest change is how ammo will drop for all enemy types. We want the amount to better reflect the ammo cost of defeating them. This means that on average, you should get back as much ammo as you used to best the machine you fought. On top of that, all machines can now potentially drop health items. To round things off, all tanks and harvesters now have a chance to drop bonus items such as weapons and attachments. Item rarity is tied to machine class, with C-class variants dropping the best items. Main changelog continues below. Missions. Holy mother of God. As mentioned, all main and warboard missions have received retroactive fixes. For stuck missions, we want to specifically call out a few below, as they were the ones with the most reports. Flying objects, flying blind, spiking the guns, the girl who cried wolf, Minkin bunker, Utern bunker. On the road is no longer blocked by claiming the safe house before destroying machines in the area. The hunter now correctly triggers machine spawns as intended. The hunter will no longer cause mission items to respawn when reloading a save while on the mission. The hunter now has improved mission description to make objectives clearer. Flying blind will no longer have a chance to the bunker doors remaining locked after completing the mission. Flying blind has received an adjusted point of interest marker so that it's now correctly located on the bunker entrance. Spiking the guns will no longer erroneously show 2 tracked waypoints. Beachhead received a rework of the mission objectives to make them clearer. Yeah, because that beachhead was a real bitchhead. Anyways, Behind the Curtain has corrected an issue that could prevent progress via a locked door in the session if the session was restored mid-mission. The home team no longer has an issue that could prevent players progressing past this mission. Loud and Clear has corrected an issue that could prevent mission completion. It also now has the tick jammer correctly located on the circuit board. Break of Dawn will now have correctly update mission progression. Gas run can now be completed even if the gas station was destroyed before acquiring the mission. Corrected issue that could remove the current objective main message and place of interest marker when a player respawns. The Old Guard now correctly spawns machines related to the mission inside the bunker rather than at the top of it. Now I don't really need to catch my breath for me to keep ranting on all day. The Old Guard now correctly tracks mission progress when carrying out objectives. Courage, Power, and Resilience now tracks mission progress when carrying out objectives. Lost and Found now correctly tracks mission progress when carrying out objectives. Over and Out no longer has a blank mission item. Sadly for you, I am not over and out. I'm not done yet. Strength in Numbers has a clearer mission objective where it now states where machines need to be eliminated from. Thank the Lord for that. Updated appearance of place of interest markers. Corrected issue where displayed total number of tracked mission objectives could be mismatched with actual total. Multiplayer Break of Dawn now correctly appears in the mission log during multiplayer. Break of Dawn will now correctly applied multiplayer progression. An issue was corrected that could in some cases block mission progression when ending a session partway through. I'm French. Who cares about my mistakes? The Girl Who Cried Wolf no longer has a mismatch between single and multiplayer progression. When playing co-op as a guest, mission progress will now correctly carry over to your single-player game if you were on the same mission step or beyond as the host in a multiplayer game when you joined them. Animation corrected animation mismatch with pump shotgun when viewed from third person. Improved mission powered down animations to better signify their status when EMP'd. Various improvements to machine movement and idle animations. Audio corrected issue that could prevent audio settings from saving correctly. If I have to keep reading these patch notes any longer, I think my audio might end up bugging out. The public emergency alarm will no longer loop continuously. Thank God for that. That was annoying. Environmental gas no longer incorrectly causes damage to machines. Made improvements to Prevent hunters jumping through walls, ceilings, and objects. Thank God for that. That was so annoying, it was unreal. Corrected collisions under environment on platform assets so player machines can no longer clip through it. Corrected shed assets so that players no longer need to jump to cross the threshold. Removed invisible collision area in the middle of picket fence gate. Corrected various locations where players could potentially get stuck in terrain. Corrected an issue that could cause bunker doors that were tied to power activations to relock after starting a new game session. Various floating world objects corrected. Experience. Corrected an issue that could result in less experience than intended being rewarded when destroying machines via explosive damage, such as explosion components, example, the fuel tanks on the runners. Using deployed explosives, example, mines and gas tanks. Explosive weapons, example, the Granatgewehr, fucking rocket launcher, and hand grenades. Graphics. Decals should no longer flicker on machines. Good. My seizures should probably stop. No, I'm just kidding. Performance improvements via decreasing the time of machine wrecks despawn from the world. Fixed a bug where ticks spawned by other machines could live forever, bogging down performance. Items. Field radio should no longer jitter in place when associated relay beacon is destroyed. Large EMP cells now reacts more consistently when hit with bullets. Key bindings, multiple improvements to key binding menu. Photo mode, corrected misalignment of UI features when used in windowed mode. Text chat will no longer incorrectly display when using photo mode. UI, the multiplayer menu now correctly gives feedback when applying settings. AR and SMG barrel extensions no longer incorrectly show the suppressor icon in the inventory. Made it easier to interact with sitting corpse asset when looting. Corrected an issue that could cause the farm objective icon to remain even after completing the progress. Weapons. Green dot sight markers should no longer cause vision to be obstructed when used. Corrected an issue that could cause trace effects to display long after weapons had been fired. Corrected a misplaced muzzle flash for the Granatgewehr, the rocket launcher. What I want to know is if they fixed the molar PP. If you have a level 3 or higher grade weapon, will it still show a stack of you having like half a dozen of them? Oh my god, that took 13 minutes to read through the patch notes. That's insane. So I'm going to end it here. We're going to do a gameplay video. I might even live stream this bitch, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Why? Because I said so. So as usual, this is going to have been heard in the past, but it's coming back. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. You didn't like the video, give it a thumbs down, but I'll make sure when you play the game. Harvesters, tanks, they're like 5 times the size. And then they spawn a lot quicker, so it bogs down the experience, and you get reverted back to patch 1.0. Virgin game. We all know how well that game ran. I'm just saying. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, well, wouldn't that be great? But if not, thanks for stopping by anyways. Take care, boys and girls, and I shall see you all in the next video. Bye now.